Hey, how's it going, everyone? My name's Colton, and I like to talk about Bibles, books, and theology-related things. Today, I want to talk about something that's sort of kind of more of a niche thing. Most of my audience are adults, but probably there's a few of you, if not more than that, who have children. I want to share with you today one of my favorite resources as a father of young children for family worship, for family devotions, however you want to say it. The first one, this is one that I bought myself. It is the biggest storybook Bible. So this has incredible artwork. Kevin DeYoung did the actual, wording and things like that. And Don Clark did the illustrations. If you know anything about Don Clark, if you're like me and you grew up listening to Tooth and Nail and Solid State Records bands, Don Clark is connected to the band Demon Hunter, which was a Christian metal band. He played guitar with him, I think, for earlier on. He left, doesn't do it anymore, but him and his brother Ryan, who is the singer, both are incredible graphic designers. And so Don did the artwork for this. It's incredible. So I bought this. We've been using this for a while. But then I want to give a shout out to Crossway because they sent me this, which is the Biggest Story Family Devotional. And this is made to be a companion to the Biggest Story Storybook Bible. Now, I do want to give you a heads up about some of the images. They do have depictions of Jesus in here, and I know I've shared my struggles with that. I'm not a huge fan of them, even in here, just to be honest with you. But it's also just kind of obviously, not real to life, which is kind of how I've been able to reconcile with it. But nonetheless, if you're adverse to depictions of Jesus, this may or may not be a problem for you. For me, this is kind of a gray area, I'll be honest with you, with my convictions on that. But all the other aspects of it, man, I just think are awesome. So I'm going to flip the camera around so you can see what's in these and see particularly how you might be able to use the Biggest Story Family Devotional alongside your Biggest Story Storybook Bible. Let's take a look.
I fix my eyes on Christ. I fix my eyes.
Okay, so here is the Biggest Story Storybook Bible. It does normally come with a dust jacket. I have taken it off and I have no idea where it is. So, but I think it looks sharp without the dust jacket for sure. Really nice presentation on both of these. This one is like a totally cloth with some, embossing here. This has cloth on the back. There's a little piece of the artwork here and the kind of really cool artistic style you can expect from Don Clark. But I'm not going to spend a ton of time in this one as far as just, I don't want to give it all away. I do want to share with you, it does have a table of contents where you can find different stories. And it does have a note to parents about kind of the mission and heart behind this. Kevin DeYoung leaves a note here about the portrayals of Jesus. And I'm just going to read it. It says, "You may notice that unlike the Biggest Story, which is a smaller version of this book includes pictures of Jesus. That presents certain dangers. Some children's books present Jesus in ways that are culturally unrealistic, cartoonishly silly, or lifelike in a way that can lead children to think this is what Jesus looks like. We tried hard to avoid these dangers. In the end, we thought it would seem strange, if not theologically misleading, to have a big book where Jesus never shows his face but appears only in shadows and silhouettes. We believe that by presenting Jesus in a way that is obviously artistically stylized, we are not depicting the God-man or trying to say this is what Jesus was like. as much as we are trying to tell the story of the Bible without keeping the main character off stage for every scene. So that's the reason they chose to do that. If you really tend to lead into and thinking the second commandment forbids any depiction of Jesus, that may be a bigger stumbling block or a big problem. But I understand it, brothers, sisters, if that's you. I struggle with it myself, and my thoughts on it. But nonetheless, I do think he's right that they portrayed it well. So you have introductions to each section, really cool artwork. There's Noah, the rainbow, like just super unique. I'm not going to show everything, like I said, but this is what you can expect. You know, you have your story. So this is one's like about the wise men. And then at the end, of every section, there's a prayer that you can pray together as a family. And I found that to be super helpful. So really, this could be all you need. But maybe you're like me and you have some older children where some depth would be helpful. And that's where the family devotional comes into play. I really like what they're doing here. You see the artwork is still on there. There's the contents. So this follows along with the Storybook Bible. Here's an introduction. And this, you can see, is from Douglas Sean O'Donnell, who did this. So Kevin DeYoung, didn't do this part. Douglas Sean O'Donnell did, put together the family devotional aspect. Here is the cool thing. There are multiple ways that you can use this. Dinner table devotions, 5 to 10 minutes, all ages, which is how I tend to use our time. Longer evening devotionals for older kids, and this can really come in handy because you not only use the biggest story, but you with the older kids you read the actual biblical text, which is what we do with some of my older kids as well. Alongside the biggest story, Storybook Bible. So you don't need the biggest Storybook Bible to use this. You don't need this to use the biggest Storybook Bible, but you can use both if you would like. And I think it's a great companion where you can connect them together. So, anyway, here's what it looks like. Okay. So there's actually a way you can scan the QR code here and watch the an animated depiction of what's happening. If you are like me, I think my kids are already, screens are already so stimulating, and they need to learn how to enjoy other forms of art. So I have them, we like to use this. But that's not to say we would never use this. I think it's a really cool option. But then it has here some discussion questions for you to attach to the story. And then you can even write in or fill in your answers there if you want. They leave blanks where you can do that. And see, these are attached to here the various readings for each story. It has Genesis 1, 1, and 2, Genesis 1, 3, and 23. All you get the picture. And then it has a gospel connection, which is always helpful to be able to point to Jesus throughout all of Scripture. And then a prayer at the end, just like the biggest story, Storybook Bible. And that's the gist of it. That's how it works. You get the beautiful artwork still, but then you also get a companion to go along with it. So I think this is awesome. I think this is by far one of the absolute best children's resources. These two together are incredible. There's the back there where you can get some of the features on this. There's a little slipcover on the back. But also just a solid physical book. Great to have, to use for your family devotions. And make no mistake about it, parents, I have learned personally so much from using these resources as an adult to teach my kids. They're so helpful. So I recommend them. Thanks to Crossway for sending me the family devotional. Appreciate that. I'll have this stuff linked down below if you're interested. I think these are incredible resources for children. That's going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.